attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to you all. My name is John Kinnear. I'm the Vice President of Marketing with INFINii, and it's my opportunity to spend the next 30 minutes or so with you walking through several details that I think will have you as excited about the future as I currently am. In 21 years of network marketing, mostly building teams of individuals in various continents around the world, I've had some amazing experiences and have had certainly more than my fair share of successes, for which I'm very grateful for, and have had a very significant impact on my quality of life and things that I've been able to do, the freedoms I've been able to have. And these are exactly the same things that I wish for you if this is why you're tuning into this broadcast. For those of you who have already created significant success for yourself, congratulations to you. And for those of you that are looking to do that, well, I firmly believe that this is the most exciting project that has come to this industry that has created more millionaires than any other ever since I've been participating in the industry. As we know, it's been around for, well, a number of decades now, since the likes of Amway and hexactly and Herbalife, and has gone through a number of significant changes. But I think that what INFINii is doing is representing very much a new breed of projects that is not only bringing real value to the marketplace, but is absolutely on trend with very legitimate earning opportunities surrounding this project, numerous opportunities, so that individuals don't necessarily get pigeonholed into one particular style of having to perform to succeed. And what I mean by that is, in building teams in thousands and in fact in tens of thousands over the years, one of the things that I've witnessed is individuals with an absolute desire and a need to create additional income for themselves for a variety of reasons. Some people, it's just to service immediate needs and to cover the costs of living. For other people, it's really wanting a little bit more out of life and creating some freedom that they perhaps have never had the luxury of having. Regardless of what one's motive is, I've watched individuals struggle being forced into sales-type roles that just didn't come naturally and quite frankly, perhaps weren't enjoyable for them. And for many, many years, since I've been involved in the industry, those are skill sets that one simply had to learn how to perform at if they wanted to hope for any significant degree of success. And I'm very happy to be able to report that that is no longer the case. And one of the reasons for that is that there is absolutely a revolution that's happening. It's a quiet revolution, but it's one that's firmly rooted in technology. And what this technological revolution is doing is it's certainly causing upheaval for individuals, but it's also opening doors. And it's opening doors in a number of different ways, as the technology that we're about to talk about and the technology that surrounds that creates a huge shift in the way money is being moved and how consumer goods are being purchased. And what I want to do, just to shed a little bit of light on how significantly impactful some of these projects are, I want to give you a couple examples that I'm sure that you've already heard of. One of them is Uber. It's in the news all the time, whether you love it or whether you hate it or whether you're indifferent. It's been able to make an awful lot of noise for some very particular reasons. One of the things that I find absolutely fascinating is this is a telephone app you download, and on your telephone, it really gives you another opportunity to communicate or to commute around a city without using your own vehicle. In other words, this application is taking on a century-old taxi industry globally head-to-head, and it's doing remarkably well. In fact, it's a real disruptor. What's amazing, though, to me is that this particular application has a market valuation of more than $50 billion. It was only created in 2009 and doesn't own a single car. So how you can take on a centuries-old industry without owning a single car and get a market valuation in a few short years of $50 billion is really a reflection on some of the changes that we're starting to see globally and some of the opportunities likewise. There's a similar example called Airbnb. Airbnb connects, basically, this isn't even a telephone app. This is actually just a website that you can also use, of course, from your phone. And this connects property owners with travelers all around the world. So giving those travelers other opportunities rather than potential name brand hotels for a variety of reasons. Maybe individuals want to save some money. Maybe they just want a different experience. Maybe they want to feel like they're really living in a city that they're traveling to, as opposed to simply being a guest at a hotel that perhaps wouldn't look any different in one of 50 different cities. Whatever the reason may be, it's had incredible success. And again, founded in a very similar period of time, 2008, with a market valuation of $25.5 billion. Now, if you're watching this information for the first time, you've heard me often compare Airbnb statistics to that of the Hilton hotel chain. We're all familiar with Hilton. Hilton was originally founded in 1955. Obviously, Hilton owns premier properties all around the world. This is amazing real estate that they own around the world. They've been collecting and charging for since 1955. And this website that owns no real estate has a greater market valuation. The entire Hilton hotel chain has a market valuation of just under $20 billion. And it's still, every time I walk through and discuss these statistics, it still takes me a little by surprise at how quickly our world is changing. But how that doesn't necessarily have to be a scary thing. It certainly potentially is. But as the world becomes more interconnected, if we're willing to embrace this change and we're willing to trust that there's opportunities for us within this change, I'll tell you, it can truly be life-changing for you. So one of the things that I want to share before we move on to some very exciting news, I want to share with you also how this change, this technological change, is affecting retail. Obviously, commerce itself. Retail is one of the oldest forms of commerce around for us as societies. And if you have a look at this barren shopping mall, my early days in business, I was inside a shopping mall, like paying many thousands of dollars for, I think, about 1,500 square feet in a very busy mall. And what's starting to happen is we're starting to see that this technological shift is causing real upheaval in the way that some of these particular businesses are performing. Now, these are name brands that most of you are very familiar with, even if you don't live in the United States, or even if you don't live in the Western world. Many of these brands you will have been familiar with. And if you take a look at this statistic, this is actually 2015. In fact, this is stats for the fourth quarter of 2015. So they're about as relevant as you can possibly get. And we're seeing many of these very large department-type stores struggle. And in fact, it was department stores like Walmart and like Target that actually pushed me out of business, because I couldn't compete with these larger box-type stores that were starting to open up. Best Buy, I was actually in technology. My background is photography. And what's ironic is here we are 20 years later, and it's this new technology that I'm fully participating in that's pushing these box stores out of business, because they can no longer keep up with the value that companies like Amazon are bringing to the table. When Amazon solved the shipping solution, was getting goods to people in 2, 3, 4 days and not charging for it, well, all of a sudden, the opportunity to buy and save online became real to people, became something they were willing to do. And of course, as encryption and securities increased with our desire to buy and shop and save online, we all felt comfortable and confident doing so. So as a result, we're seeing this global explosion, 15 to 20% per annum for the last several years, which is truly remarkable. $300 billion in worth just for the 4 companies, brands you see in front of you: Google, Amazon, eBay, Facebook. Now, I want you to imagine just for a moment, imagine the possibility of, and this is part of that paradigm shift that we were talking about on the slide where we were looking at Airbnb and Uber as example. Just imagine the possibility of these companies these multinational giants being willing to find customers for you, process payments for you, deliver products for you, and offer the support of those customers that they found for you. Imagine the possibility of it. As this shift from offline to online starts to really take root, and we're just seeing the early stages of it now, and I'll share some stats with you in just a moment, but as this really starts to take root, brands that you know and brands that you recognize, brands that you're familiar with, brands that you trust, are all wanting to participate. And so this is something that's starting to affect all of us, regardless of where we call home happens to be, whether it's the United States or Canada, all the way across Europe, into Asia, and Southern Hemisphere, Brazil, and Australia. These are the top 10 global e-commerce performers. This is the top 10 group. And you can see this is really covering the whole planet. Now, the research firm eMarketer is projecting $3.5 trillion, multi-trillion-dollar industry in the next 3 to 5 years. The question one begs to ask of that is, of course, how much of a piece of this would you like? Would you like to align yourself, learn how to position yourself ahead of this curve, because you absolutely can. This is not an opportunity that you've missed. In fact, if you're watching this information right now, you are being exposed to this much, much earlier than the masses are, which really potentially puts you in a unique position. Now, if you have a look at the screen right now, this Google search that someone has done, Tiffany-style lamps, and you can see all these lamps start to pop up, a variety. I live, for example, in a city that's maybe 50,000 people. The city next to me is 200,000 people. There's no way, if I was really looking for a Tiffany-style lamp to go on a desk in my office, that I'm going to find one where I live. Just an impossibility. So I would end up making some sort of compromise or sacrifice, or here's a real, legitimate opportunity for me to potentially get anything that I possibly could want and have it shipped to me for free or very inexpensively in a very short period of time. Now, this is one of the things that our system allows us to do, because these large companies are willing to do so much for us as consumers. Our system allows you to operate without any inventory, no upfront costs, no traffic generation, no shipping and management to worry about, and the model is proven. $2.5 billion in its first 2 years, and more than that, though, our members, running parallel to individuals doing the same activities online that are not using our platform, our members are earning between 6 times and 7.2 times more than the average seller, depending on which of these big brands they're aligning. So let me give you a really quick example. What our system, our platform, allows you to do is find things online, and we certainly give you all sorts of education and strategies and software to help you do so. But you can find things anywhere. In fact, this one particular site where we're finding something is an iPhone 6 carrying case that also doubles as a wallet. So there's places for cash and credit cards and ID, etc. And it also folds out so it can become like a viewing stand or something to use for taking pictures. So a multi-dimensional case, a broad range of features. You can see something very similar, exactly the same features, on another website that's also very popular for $28.99. And I actually did this research on my own. Not only did I find the product on some sites for $3, $4, and $5, I also found it for some sites not for $28.99, but $35, $45, and even $55. So it just goes to show that these types of discrepancies that we're seeing are real, and they are possible, and they're possible every single day of the week. Now, what's unique about this is, as a retail consumer, I know that I had favorite stores that I used all the time. If I needed something and it fell into the category of something that store that I'm familiar with would have, that would be the store I would go to. It's not like picking a different route home on the car all the time, which is something that I would do often. When it came to buying, for some reason, I would really get locked into going to the same place. And what we're finding is that people, even though they don't have to, are copying that same behavior online. And by doing so, it's creating opportunity for those of us that want to capitalize on the fact that there is huge discrepancies on similar featured products in varying ranges of pricing. Coupled with an analytic system that we've developed, it gives you very significant opportunities to earn. Now, this slide is meant to represent the founder of a company that I know you've heard of. In fact, I'm sure you've heard of the name of the founder as well. His name is Jeff Bezos. He was the founder of Amazon. You may not know now, though, but I first heard of Amazon about, I don't exactly know when Amazon was founded. I know it's probably around 20 years ago. And I remember when I first looked into it, because I first heard of it, it was books. They were selling books online, and then they went into electronic products, like digital type products, like audios, music, things like that. But I decided at a very early stage that it was really nothing that I was terribly interested in. And that company that's gone on to be an absolute juggernaut around the world started inside Jeff's garage. And it was in Jeff's garage for a while. So from these very, very humble beginnings, some amazing things started to happen. And from that one idea that Jeff had, it really has significantly changed the buying habits of many of the people that you know in your life, which is really quite remarkable to me. And the reason I wanted to start with that slide was to share with you some of the things that INFINii is doing now that I think will have a very similar impact, because what this is meant to do, just like our e-commerce arbitrage platform that we've just been talking about, these products also enable the average participant to actually begin to engage in this e-commerce process and turn these areas of interest or attraction into genuine income sources for them. Remember, we were talking also earlier about, in my many years of network marketing experience, those individuals that were comfortable with the idea of selling things, picking up the phone, pushing their agenda on whomever, those individuals typically did quite well. And anyone who felt nervous or awkward about that really did have a difficult time creating any income that you or I would consider worth the effort. And the reason is, by the way, in network marketing, the way you earn a significant income, if you were going to earn, let's say, $5,000 to $10,000 a month or beyond, you're not going to do that from your own activity. I've never seen that happen from anyone's own activity. In other words, if they aligned themselves with a protein shake from company XYZ, they never sold $50,000 worth of a protein shake, leaving them $10,000 behind. That just doesn't happen. What they did was they talked to 3 or 4 or 5 friends that they thought might want to work with them, and then they in turn helped their friends talk to 3 or 4 or 5, and they took that leadership skill that came somewhat naturally to them, and they developed a whole team. In other words, they leveraged what they had, and they expanded an organization so that consumer base would grow, rather than them doing one thing over and over and over and over to create that $5,000 or $10,000. And I see that consistently happening with every single person that I've ever met that's making money within the industry. What I've never seen before is anyone be able to earn a significant amount of money just by parking them in front of their computer and using a very simple system an hour a day. I've never seen that before, not until I was exposed to INFINii. But since I was exposed, not only have I met a few, I've met literally hundreds of people that are creating remarkable results. In fact, I've met individuals that are less than 30 years old that are earning $500,000 a year or more from that activity. And that I find truly amazing, because what's happened is the success of their business is not dependent on anything but them. It's a skill set that they learned through INFINii, and they're in complete control now of their financial security. So that's something that I find very exciting. So let's go through this list really quickly. First of all, INFINii Marketplace is something that you will have access to as a member, but only members will have access. If you have a look at the blue check mark, it says rise above the e-commerce crowd with access to thousands of items at protected wholesale prices. So this is not another Amazon or an eBay. Those would be marketplaces. Indeed, they're marketplaces, but they are retail marketplaces. That's where I would go as a consumer to find something I'm looking for. And it's open, it's forward-facing. Anyone can access it. Our INFINii Marketplace is not that. This is where you will go to find one of tens of thousands of products available to you that you like or you think would be popular with any particular market. And you can either sell those items on Amazon, eBay, Bonanza, Alibaba, Lazada in the Philippines or Indonesia, Rakuten in Japan, and more of these marketplaces that are starting to pop up all over the place. And by the way, if you're unfamiliar with this concept of a marketplace, all it is, you remember, the markets that you would go to as a child, and maybe you still go to them now, and you go to the farmers markets, where the whole community starts to bring the things that they have for sale into one location. Well, that's all this marketplace is. It's enabling you to take things that you have and loading them into this environment, and the owner of the environment is just charging a small commission for you now to operate within that environment. And for example, Sears, probably everyone on this call has heard of Sears. If you're listening from Australia or from Asia or from Europe, Sears is a very, very large, successful department store that's been around for decades in North America. And Sears now recently started, well, not recently, for a while now, they've been closing locations. In fact, they wanted to make an aggressive move to .com, just like Walmart is making an aggressive move to .com, Sears.com, Walmart.com. Well, what's starting to happen is many of these large stores are wanting to take that concept one step further. And that one step further is to open a marketplace. So instead of going to Sears.com and only being able to buy Sears goods, you will actually have an opportunity to load things that you feel are of good value, that have a good profit margin for you, into Sears.com. And those are popping up all over the place. So it's important for you to understand that not only has INFINii been blazing the trail, they're the first to market when it comes to really learning how to create millionaires within this e-commerce environment. And the first to market always has significant advantages. Now for you, of course, you're finding us at a very, very early stage of the game. INFINii Stores is another opportunity for you to profit. You may choose to load products that you find in the INFINii marketplace in other marketplaces like Amazon and Alibaba and eBay, but you also may choose to load them into your own store. In fact, you may choose to turn one of your passions or hobbies into a store of your own. And I'll give you a very fast example. A good friend of mine, Troy, just had a birthday, and on his birthday, his mother brought a variety of small gifts for him. And one of those gifts was a travel light. It's like a camping travel light. It's shatterproof. It was really kind of cool. It looked like an old tungsten light bulb, fat at one end with screws, and that's exactly what it looked like, but it was made out of plastic. It was unbreakable. It was halogen. It was very bright. She paid $12.95 for this bulb at a camping shop. It had a little carabiner on the end. You could clip onto your tent or onto whatever to light your campsite up. Well, since he started engaging in this, and he started looking through some of these other sites that we teach you about, find all sorts of wholesale deals, he found exactly the same product. And I mean, when you looked at it up close, when you hover over the photograph and it blows the photograph up, it was exactly the same product from exactly the same manufacturer. But instead of $12.95, it was 85 cents. Now, if you extrapolate how many people might be looking for something similar, Troy immediately started to see that what if he found 50, 100, 500 products with similar types of margins, and instead of having a store of whatever, he themed his store. It was an outdoor good, outer like a camping supply store, or whatever the case may be. You can start to get a sense of the opportunities that are presenting themselves to you that were never available to you before. We've got this huge consumer marketplace, $3.5 trillion in the next 3 to 5 years. By the way, last year we are over $1.5 trillion, and that only represented between 1.5% and 2% of retail purchases. So as more and more credibility, confidence, interest, awareness in the marketplace leans in this direction, which all the indicators are telling us that this is absolutely going to happen, you'll see that 1.5% to 2% rise to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, and beyond. So you can imagine how many trillions of dollars, and you absolutely can park yourself right in the middle of all that traffic, all those eyes wanting to spend money because we show you how to do it. And 30 years ago, you had to rent a location and get a business license and inventory. It boggles my mind how easy it will be now to get into business for yourself and potentially profit in the tens and hundreds and even hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. Anybody can do it. Really remarkable. INFINii Vendors is actually a site that we would send wholesalers and manufacturers to. Now, the reason we're telling you about it is you can send vendors and wholesalers to it. And if they like what they see and want to list their items onto our marketplace, onto our wholesale marketplace, then you have the opportunity to profit anytime any INFINii member grabs in the marketplace to resell in another environment. You're making money from that because you loaded that vendor into the market. Now, the best thing about it, though, because this is a wholesale members-only marketplace, those manufacturers and wholesalers can actually list their products in here because they're not going to be undercutting or undermining their retail sales force, because this is a private members-only wholesale site. So you can literally go to anybody. And so, for example, our members in Hong Kong, or our members in China, our members in India, our members in the Philippines are extraordinarily excited to go to people that they know or relations that they know that are in the wholesale game or the manufacturing game, and guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be loading all of these products right from the sources at ridiculously low prices into marketplace, and regardless of where you live, you will be in a fantastic position to capitalize. And then finally, INFINii Network. This is a nice opportunity for those of you who have always wondered how individuals build databases of total strangers and how to make those total strangers find them so that they can sell things or profit in other ways online. INFINii Network teaches you exactly how to do that. In fact, it teaches you in a very simple 3-click system, and you're literally in business starting to get capture pages out and create interest in traffic. In fact, built into this system is an autoresponder with autorespond emails already written for you. So it's about as easy a system as you could possibly get your hands on, and it's probably around a tenth of the price of what you would find outside of INFINii. So opportunities everywhere. Now, in regards to the e-commerce arbitrage, I just want to share with you some of the features and the things that you're going to learn on our Prime platform, which, by the way, is only $50 a month, and how you can see a dollar-for-dollar ratio of 50 business volume, or BV, and we'll explain to you in a moment what that BV represents. But you're going to start learning some very important basics on eBay, Amazon, and Google at the Prime membership level. But when you move up to the Surge level, then what's happening is you're really starting to boost your business, learn additional e-commerce strategies, techniques, and then also access different types of platforms to be able to increase those sales. Of course, Surge includes all of the Prime features, and by the way, there's unique software available in each of these memberships, and gives you a very, very unfair advantage compared to others that are participating in this type of business that don't have these software pieces available to them. Platform Excel is our premier platform. Those individuals that are making $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, really blowing their business up. They're really starting to brand themselves and create an online presence in a number of different ways we won't get into here. All you need to know is the concept can expand as large as you could possibly want to take. And that's what Excel brings to the table. And of course, it also includes all of the software and all of the training in Prime and in Surge as well. So with that, what I'd like to do is quickly transition to what we call our INFINii rewards plan. So obviously with number one, you can select a platform, decide how and where you fit in this e-commerce game, how exactly and how much exactly you would like to start creating for yourself. But the next step is, of course, what you want to do is take this information and select just a handful of individuals that you're close with that you think what you would want to work with. And that's generally who you get started with in our rewards plan. Now, I'll walk through the basics really quickly for you. The first thing that's going to happen, of course, is you're going to earn a 25% of any of the packages that any of your friends, your personal friends you spoke with, choose to engage in INFINii with. So as soon as they get started, you're earning a 25%. Someone joins at Excel because they really want to build an international business. They spend $3.99, you're going to earn $100. Okay. Now the milestone bonuses, the purpose of the milestone really is to cash up your business very quickly. Our manager, regional, national, and global manager, this is our family of manager ranks. They're the first 4 ranks for you to reach. You can reach them very quickly, and and you're getting additional milestone bonuses of $50, $100, $350, and $500 for a total of $1,000. Now, more than that, though, the handful of friends that you spoke with, that you brought into the program, when you help them earn these $1,000 milestone bonuses, you're going to earn 20% match from everyone that you've personally enrolled in the program. So if I enrolled you in the program, and with my support, you reach the rank of global manager in the first month or your first 60 days, you earn that additional $1,000. I will make $200 from you earning that $1,000. And then as soon as you start helping others, you'll earn the 20%, and I'll earn 10% from those that you personally enrolled. Very simple bonus, very straightforward. INFINii Pay is our third way we earn, and this is sort of taking things to the next level, because there's no cap here. It's exactly as it says. It's an infinity bonus. This business can grow and grow and grow and grow as friends share and generate business volume in one of 100 different ways. So INFINii Pay is not only paying you as your business grows and people are participating in membership, but also as e-commerce sales are being generated in all these different environments we've talked about. That is also generating business volume that's also paying you as well. And then the fourth way you earn is really tied to number 3. It's an INFINii match. So in other words, anyone that I've personally brought into this program, as their INFINii Pay income starts to grow, I have the ability to earn up to a 100% match. In addition to my own INFINii Pay, I can earn a 100% match on anything that you're generating, starting at 5% really early in the game and working my way all the way up to 100%. So one of the great things about this is what I've mentioned to you more than once now in this very simple 3-minute explanation of the rewards plan is on 2 separate occasions, I earn when I help you earn. And that's one of the best ways to identify a strong rewards plan that's going to push your business in the direction that it needs to go. I am rewarded the best when I'm helping others create success for themselves. And that's really the name of the game when it comes to building a successful, team-oriented business. And if I'm going to bring people in that I care about, well, of course, my focus is going to be on helping them create success for themselves. So what we're doing with this rewards, the idea was really to combine some of the best pieces of various rewards plans within the industry. So, for example, one of the ones that I just mentioned, team building. This is one of the most important aspects to building a business. Well, of course, creating financial security for all of us is absolutely important. It's not the end-all, be-all of life on earth is making money. Okay, it's an ends. It's a means to an end. It's not the means itself. Relationships and helping people we care about, I think for all of you listening, would probably rank higher than adding to your bank account. Well, in this particular case, you get to do both simultaneously. The other thing, placement of volume. The idea of being able to strategically drop individuals within your team anywhere you want to help people within your business is very difficult to do in a rewards plan, but we've been able to figure out a system that's absolutely remarkable. We're going to talk about it in just a minute. No restriction on BV depth. Well, the holding tank plays into that. Unlimited width and depth. That may mean nothing to you if you don't have network marketing experience, but I promise it's going to mean something in about 6 minutes. And then, of course, the Jumpstart bonus of 25%, which we've already talked about. And so if you have a look at the brown box, what this is showing is an individual that has, obviously, a business that's growing. In this particular case, what this arrow is representing is somebody that this person in the salmon-colored sweater has the ability to move. And in this particular case, he's dropping this under the lady in the purple dress. So he has personally added all 4 of these individuals to his business, but has deliberately chosen to drop the gentleman in the green tie under the lady in the purple dress. And there's all sorts of benefits to the both of them for doing so. And we're going to get into those benefits in just a moment. As you can see here, though, for the rank requirement chart, our ranks go all the way down to Global Ambassador, where you have the ability to earn more than $100,000 per month on every single line of lineage you choose to start. And we'll show you exactly how. The first thing I want to do is show you how you can get involved. Now, the monthly memberships are simply a repetition of what you just learned a moment ago, with Prime at $50, Surge at $150, and Excel at $400. But the other thing that we're doing is we're giving you an opportunity just like you would with Netflix or so many other features or products that you consume on a regular basis. If you wanted to, you could save a little bit of money and get your Prime, 6 months of Prime by paying for one and receiving, paying for 5 and receiving 1 month. Prime 6, Prime 12 works the same way. I can cover my whole year in advance and receive 2 months for free. And the same thing with Surge as well. And of course, you'll see Excel launch in the same type of a builder pack coming in the not so distant future. So what I want to do is I just want to share something with you very quickly. And this is for those of you who are familiar with a very typical, in fact, rewards plan that we used for our first 4 months of existence, but a very common and very successful rewards plan within network marketing. Now, this is called a dual team or a binary, and the reason is the prefix or the dual word or the prefix bi implies two. So there's a left side and a right side. There's two teams that you're essentially building. Now, in this particular case, you can see that you are the blue and I am your upline. I'm in yellow, and I've dropped several people inside of your business because I only have 2 places. And you can also see that you personally sponsored 1, 2, 3, 4 people into this system. Now, this spillover volume, of course, is coming from above. The challenge in a dual team system, as you can see from the yellow box, it's the lesser side of your business that's generating your income. And so you're being paid on the lesser side. Now, the advantage of having someone above you that's very strong simply means you create a stable, strong side to your business more quickly, which means you can shift your focus to the other side of your business to continue to drive your paycheck up. The sad part of the story, of course, is that all that yellow activity that I'm putting into your business isn't directly paying you. It's not immediate money into the bank for you. All it's doing is facilitating an opportunity for you to focus on the side that does pay you. Let me show you something that I think is a real game changer. Now, you can still see that yellow growth that came from above, but guess what? Not only are you getting paid on it, it can also trigger milestone bonuses. Remember the $1,000 in milestone bonuses? And it can also trigger rank advances. Rank advances which allow you to earn more and more and more and more for each line of lineage that you have as you move through the ranks. So we have no personal enrollment tree. When I drop someone into your business, you get all the benefits. You get INFINii pay, milestone bonus, rank advancement. I sponsor them, so the check match of 25% still belongs to me, but every other benefit belongs to you. It's a very, very exciting plan, to say the least. So let's walk through a few really quick examples. This will take about 3 minutes to do. But what I want to show you is now that there's a very clear path for you to move from a very beginning position, in this particular case, what we call a manager. Remember we said our manager is our first family of ranks. Well, manager is the first rank within that family of managers, and you can get there by accumulating 400 business volume in your business and bringing as few as 2 or 3 or more people into your business. You can see you earned a little bit of money, and you just triggered your first $50 milestone bonus. But when I help the 3 people in my business now become managers, guess what happens? By default, I've accumulated at least 1,200 BV because they need to be 400 BV each. And now I'm seeing a larger income for myself. I've just triggered a second milestone bonus of $100. But in addition to that, I'm getting a check match on level 1, milestone match. Remember we talked about that 20% and 10% match on that first $1,000 of milestone bonuses? Now, the reason this is yellow, this is a target rank. We want to focus on creating regional managers. A, because it puts a decent amount of money into someone's pocket right away, but B, because it's a really good building block that we can use to start reaching those larger ranks within the company. So now I focus on helping 3B become regional manager. Guess what happens by default? I become national. Now my earnings are starting to become a little more substantial. I just triggered a $350 milestone bonus, and now I'm earning the milestone matches on level 1 and on level 2. And then finally, on step number 4 is where I help 3 people become national, and that automatically drives me to global manager. You're starting to see a fairly significant income here. I triggered the 4th and final milestone bonus to earn all $1,000. I'm earning milestone matches on level 1 and level 2, but I just unlocked another very important bonus. Remember INFINii pay? Well, this is the INFINii match that I've just unlocked. You can see at the bottom there. So what you can see happening here is 3 global managers move me to director. Now my INFINii check match is starting to gain some real strength. 30% match on any INFINii Pay earner that I've personally sponsored. And the same thing applies. Help 3 directors, I become senior. Help 3 senior directors, I become executive. All the way up now where you can start to see yourself actually with a roadmap to get to these lofty ranks like ambassador and beyond. Not only am I seeing earnings of $40, $30, $40, $50, and $1,000 and beyond, but I'm also getting 60% now from my check match. So we're starting to get to a very, very healthy place as far as our income is concerned. Needless to say, we've helped a number of people who have helped a number of people. We've created some genuine success for ourselves. Now, here's the thing that's really important to understand. First of all, I can enroll as many people as I want. They do not all have to go in alignment. And this is where I'm going to share with you some of the magic of this rewards plan that has so many people so excited. First of all, I can earn up to, in this case, remember we said $125,000 is the rank we have titled. However, we know that there are additional ranks that are going to take you to $200,000 a month as a minimum on each and every line that you've sponsored as we continue to grow and have our members reach those really high levels of achievement. In addition to that, remember we talked about INFINii Pay Match, earn up to a 100% match on everyone you first. Okay, so for example, you see the numbers below each individual. Well, if I was a director earning 30% of their INFINii Pay, you can see that's starting to become a pretty significant addition to my INFINii Pay. And as I move to 60% for ambassador, well, pretty great income source. Okay, now I want to share with you the last concept that we're going to discuss today. And that last concept is something that we call a holding tank. Now, what's dynamic about this rewards plan, as we touched on, remember we were looking at the brown box at the beginning of the comp plan. In this particular structure, every single person that joins my business that I have personally sponsored will sit in what's called a holding tank. And all that means is that for the next 30 days, I can choose to place them anywhere I want in my business. Why would I want to do that? Well, it's very simple. I would want to do that to make sure that I could help people in my business reach their goals. The more successful they are, ultimately the more successful I'm going to become. And that's the secret to building a very strong, healthy network marketing business. So when you place, I'm looking at the sentence at the bottom of the slide, when you place a new partner from your holding tank under existing team members or members of your team, the business volume is shared with the entire lineage, up to and including you. So everybody benefits. Remember we said the 10% all the way down. And so you are not penalized for not having 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines of lineage wide. You're not penalized at all. In fact, quite to the contrary. You're going to potentially start to really accelerate the growth of your team as members in your team start to see that growth happening. It's a very, very dynamic plan that I'm excited to help you build. So let's wrap up really quickly. Regional manager, 1,200 business volume. Remember, it was 3 managers, 400. They got me to 12 manager. So if someone had a goal for maybe $400 or $500 a month, I would say, well, listen, this is the home we're going to find for you. We're going to get you to regional manager, and we're going to show you how to. However, if someone came to me and they said that global manager was my goal, we would know that we would need to help 8 people become regional manager, and they would start reaching that goal, which I'll share with you in just a moment. If senior director is something that was more appropriate, well, we simply need to help 6 people become global manager, which was the rank just previous. And if we really want to hit these substantial goals like ambassador, help 8 people become senior director, and we're going to start reaching these goals of $2,000, $7,500, or $50,000 a month and beyond. So again, it's really about people helping people within either the e-commerce environment or within your report. So in closing, what I'd like you to consider, if there's anything that we've discussed in the last 30 minutes or so that caught your eye or caught your ear, I would strongly encourage you to reach out to the person that asked you to look at this information and just dig a little deeper to see if there's a place for you and where that place might be. If you've already decided that you've seen enough and this is absolutely something that you want to capitalize on, especially in the early going. You're simply going to need to make a selection whether you're going to be a Prime or a Surge or Excel member right out of the gate. And then one of the things I would encourage all of you who already know enough that you're moving forward, in your first 30 days, really make sure that you can focus. Actually, I'd focus on hitting regional manager in your first 30 days and really making sure you can get all your milestone bonuses, that additional $1,000, in your first 30 to 60 days. That would be a great target. So what I'd like to say just in wrapping up, first of all, thank you so much for the time that you've spent investigating INFINii. Certainly, it's going to be time well spent if you choose to move forward. We have some very, very sunny days ahead of us. Now, again, this is a very new project, and you're just incredibly fortunate that you found us as early as you have, because you are absolutely going to be on the leading wave of growth in your community. And so make sure you get back to the person that contacted you to participate and take advantage. With that, I want to thank you so much for your time and attention, and I look forward to speaking with you.